So, welcome, Jean Pierre. I'm very honored and very happy to have you, as my guest, because when you came to me, you were a technician for refrigeration, and you had converted to a web developer, right? You were a web developer for around 6 months, and you were looking for work, but your goal, from what I remember, was you wanted to work in Switzerland. You want to find a job in Switzerland. Is that right?
Yes. Donc, I am a HVAC technician,
Okay.
but I would like to be a web developer. I would like to change career, and I would like to work in English. So I would like to make like Mansour, and English is very important. Like my level in English is weak, and for make English interview, you have to a good level, I think, in English.
Yes. Well, do you think that your level has improved since the beginning, since the beginning?
Yeah, yes, my English level is better because the big problem is to speak in English, and to speak we need a person, a speaker, which who you can speak with him or her.
Hmm.
For me, it was Heli.
Ellie was your teacher, yes. And
Yes.
what did you think of Ellie as your?
Yes, it's a good a teacher or tutor.
Mhm, mhm,
Yes, it's important to speak with the good person when
mhm,
you are weak in English, because it can be scared,
mhm, mhm.
terrible.
I, you had 30 with us. You had 30 hours with
29 hours.
okay. Oh, 29 hours.
Yes, because the last hour is with you.
Yes, right. Well, this counts.
Yes.
This is so yeah. This is the 30th hour, but you also worked many other hours on other things. For example, you worked on the TOEIC practice tool, from
Yes.
our tool. But you also, I know that you did a lot of research on your own. For example, on LinkedIn, you were publishing
Yes.
videos and articles on how to learn English. So, how much time do you think you were spending, or you have spent,
Uh,
on English learning?
5 or 6 hours per day.
Wow.
Listening, a lot of listening on
Hmm.
YouTube videos, for example, listening, reading, a little writing, not enough for me,
Mm,
and speaking with Ellie,
mm,
and alone. But speaking alone, it's very difficult.
mm,
It's not for me. It's not interesting to speak alone with
mm.
a mirror or with is a smartphone. It's not.
No, I
I
agree.
prefer to speak with real people.
Yeah, real people. But what about so because you discovered that you can use ChatGPT as
Yes.
a tutor with the add-on of the speak recognition, which I found amazing and fascinating. What do you think about that? Like having conversation with the AI?
It's a painful
It's
because
painful.
yes, because AI can speak
Like a robot.
like a robot,
Right. Okay.
and it's a very speed. It's
Oh,
a very
yes,
quick.
that's true. It is quick.
Donc so
Yes.
it's a funny at the beginning. It's a funny thing,
Mm.
but I prefer real people, real
Okay,
person.
I see.
But it's a good. Yeah, it's a very powerful to correct your sentence.
Yes.
Grammatically,
Yes.
spelling, it's a very powerful
Yes.
for that.
Absolutely. I was amazed when I saw your video and I played with it a little bit as well because it does a good job of, for example, when you have a conversation with it and you say, the AI will ask you, what did you do yesterday? And if you said, I went to beach, and then he will correct you and say, I went to the beach, for example. You have to
Mhm.
add the preposition to. And I found that super interesting because, of course, it's better to have a human because there's always that human touch. It's not the
Mm,
same,
mm.
but it is a good alternative for extra practice, extra
Yes.
time. You can't always have a tutor. It costs money, or you can do language exchanges, but that's not always good either because you don't have necessarily a professional, with you.
Mhm.
So I found it really interesting, and I think it will get better. Like what I imagine is, I am sure in the future, not far from now, you'll be able to communicate with, I don't know, Brad Pitt.
Yes,
Brad
yes,
Pitt
yes.
will be your English teacher, like,
With
yeah, I'm sure this will happen, and eventually it will probably replace, real life teachers, or a lot, because it will be much cheaper to go online and to do it with. And interesting, I would love to have I don't know, Brigitte Bardot as my French teacher. you know
yes, but in this case, there will be a copyright problem. Huh?
mm, mm, mm,
Copyright. But ChatGPT 3.5 is good in English,
mhm.
but the big problem is the pronunciation. ChatGPT don't correct your pronunciation, and the pronunciation is very important. I can see when I speak with American speaker, its pronunciation is bad. American don't understand.
That I agree with you. Americans will not understand. A lot of them will not understand. But I noticed, for example, that's when a culture only speaks one language. For example, even the French, like
Mhm,
a French person, when I spoke to them in French when I first arrived, I had like a Quebecois accent, right? And
mhm.
because you're not used to the accent, like if you never hear it and you hear it a different accent, you're always like, whoa, what is that? It catches you off guard. But accents is less important when you're speaking to Europeans. When you're speaking to I don't know, someone from the Czech Republic or from Romania, your
Mhm.
accent is understandable. But the problem is when you speak to an American who only speaks English. That is often the problem.
Yes, because American don't speak French.
Yeah.
And when you speak with a bilingual,
Hmm.
for example, English and French, it's easier for him to understand
Mm,
your pronunciation.
absolutely. So you said you have spoken to Americans,
Yes,
and
yes,
how?
on the Discord.
Oh, on Discord.
On
Okay.
Discord, you have a community,
Hmm.
and when you go in a vocal channel, you can speak with other people.
Oh, okay, great. Like a language exchange.
Yes, but
Oh, not
Also,
necessarily language.
not necessary, because
Okay.
on Discord community you have a lot of ch- uh,
Yes.
channel vocal
Channels.
channel. For
Right.
example,
A vocal channel. Okay.
in video games, in
Right.
programming,
Right. Okay.
in OpenAI, Midjourney. Vocal channel is very common on Discord.
Right. I see. So just chatting about something else, like another topic, not learning English, just
Yes,
another
just
topic. Yeah. Hmm.
chit chat,
Right.
it's a chit chat. But the English level is very, for me, high. B2
Right.
level, C1 level,
Right.
in Discord
Right.
channel.
But I'm well. That's cool. So you were brave because you decided that you will try to communicate.
Yes, yes, but Discord it's anonymous. It's anonymous.
Right.
No webcam.
Right.
There is no problem to speak on Discord channel.
Right. Well, I find psychologically, okay, that French people, it's been my experience that French people, maybe it's because in school, in high school, it started maybe in high school where I have observed that when a French person speaks English, there's immediately other people who will mock, will make
Yes.
fun of. It's funny. But in fact, they're laughing because they also think that their accent is bad. And so this whole self-confidence thing, and with French people speaking English. And then as soon as one person in real life, like an American, will say, "What? I don't understand," they will immediately be, "Oh, no one understands my accent." When in fact, let's go back to the objective. Your objective from the beginning was, "I want to work in Switzerland." That's. I remember you said
Yes,
you want to
yes,
work in
yes,
Switzerland,
yes.
but in
Or
Switzerland,
the
yeah,
other country, yeah.
or another country. But if you're staying in Europe, there are very few Americans with who you will speak with. Mostly you will speak with other
Mhm.
Europeans. And when that's the case, the communication is much more fluent, much more fluid uh, than when. So anytime there is an American or a British, that's when everyone else is like, oh, they don't understand me. And they need to make more of an effort to understand the Europeans, I think.
I add on Discord, donc channel vocal, you have also channel text. For example, if I don't understand people in English, I can say, you can write on the chat. What do you say?
Right,
For
right.
example,
Hmm.
after that, it's true, for me.
Hmm.
National education is very traumatic for many of
Mm.
us,
Hmm. Hmm.
because a lot of French people on Discord server don't speak in English, because they are scared or shy.
They're shy.
It's a word. It's a word.
Yes. Hey, that's a good word. Weird. Yeah.
Weird. Yes, French people speak when there are a B2 or C1 level in English.
Uh,
Be,
right.
below this level, no,
They won't speak. Right.
they won't
And
speak.
yet, speaking. Would you agree that speaking is necessary in order to improve?
Yes, it's mandatory.
Mm.
You
Mhm.
can you can't improve your English if you don't speak. It's impossible
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
me. For me.
Oh,
Because there are people who speak alone, but speak alone is not for me.
yeah. I don't know who speaks alone. Yeah, that's. I mean, if good for them. If they could do it, that's great. It's not for me either. Not interesting.
I saw a Brazilian on Discord a girl who learn speak French alone.
Hmm?
Uh,
Wow.
Alone with her mirror to speak
Wow.
herself.
Wow. She's very motivated. Huh?
Yes,
Wow.
yes. Me, I can't.
Yeah.
Um,
So for the past like 2 months, you've been working on your English for like 5, 6 hours a day.
yes, but between speaking, no, listening is very long.
Yes.
Listening, listening, reading, the vocabulary. Uh, the listening is difficult. Huh? It's very difficult. Huh?
How do you, yeah, because I'm amazed, because when I first saw you 2 months ago and we had the first interview, when you were speaking, it was very difficult, huh? You were searching your words, you were very uncomfortable. And now I see a big improvement. So what do you recommend to someone that had an A2 level like you? Like, what do you recommend them to do to improve?
Uh, for me, comment je vais dire ça? You have to speak for for um, for in English. C'est for me, these English hours have allowed me to get back on track.
Mm,
Okay,
mhm,
pour lancer la machine.
mhm,
En français.
mhm.
For me,
So it starts
uh,
with speaking for you. It
yes,
starts with speaking. Yeah.
because he's very motivated to learn
Mm,
English. It's more interesting that grammar book, for example, exercise book. No, no, no.
right.
You speak, you speak. The first you speak, and after you can read a grammar book for improve your English. But the most important thing is it's to speak in English.
Right. So I understand. So you start with speaking, and then that leads to you
Yes,
wanting to learn more grammar, more vocabulary, improve your listening skills. So it leads to you working on your own to improve so that when you speak, it's more clear and you have more words.
yes, because it's very motivated
Okay,
to
okay.
learn English. Because without speaking in English, no, for me, it's
Mm,
impossible to open a book because why? Why I learn English grammar? I don't in
you're not
school.
using it. Yeah.
I don't in a school. I don't
Oh, right.
exam.
Mhm.
Um, I don't. I don't have a note
Right.
notation.
Right. So that's the
No.
motivation, the to be better at speaking.
Yes,
When
the first
Mhm.
motivation and the, the, sec- the second motivation is to improve my technical skills. For example, in web development, if you are bad in English, it's it will be very difficult uh, to be good in web development. It's impossible because the information is in English, and if you want to speak with people, it will be in English, not French.
Right. I'm thinking about Mansour. What he did was he started getting interviews after only 10 hours of. He had a B1, like a very low level B1, when he started the lessons.
Mhm.
And then after 10 hours of one-on-one lessons, he started applying for jobs. internationally. And he
And the more you speak, and the better you are.
exactly, exactly, yeah. And so he was not bilingual when he got the job. They in Sweden they hired him even though his level was just basic, really.
It's enough for that.
Mhm.
And Mansour has a big determination.
Yes, exactly. That's the difference. That is the
That's the
difference.
difference.
Yeah, that's the big difference. Because don't wait until you're perfect in English to apply, for jobs.
Mm.
Because once you get the job, because you can get your level is good enough. Like now I'm speaking to you in English at a normal pace. Okay, I'm not trying to speak slowly or anything. This is how I would normally talk. You understand everything, and you're able to express yourself without you're more confident. You're not asking me you're not like how do I say this, how do I say that.
Mhm.
You're choosing the words. You're not sure if it's perfect, but you're doing it anyway, and
Yes,
that's all that matters.
yes, but I said English course doesn't miracle if
Hmm.
you don't work aside.
Yes,
Uh,
right.
a lot of because 1 hour, for example, with Ellie
One week is not enough. No, it's
is
not enough.
not enough.
No.
Speaking with a person is to practice.
Yes, that's good.
Is
That's
not
right.
a teacher. It's 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 a people to discuss.
That's a good point. That's a good point because we can't teach you English. You have to learn it, really. Yeah,
Yes,
that's perfect. That's exactly right.
but you need to have a good people with to speak with
Hmm.
him or her,
Hmm.
and to correct your sentence, correct your tense,
Hmm.
correct
Pronunciation.
grammar,
Mm.
and pronunciation.
Hmm.
It's important.
Yeah, and you worked. So I think you did it the right way, meaning you reached your goal by being able to raise your level to, I would say, probably a B1 or B2 speaking.
B1.
Um,
For me, I'm B1.
Maybe you're B1
No,
speaking. You're gonna do your TOEIC test, and we'll see where your listening. I think your listening is probably B2. We'll see with the TOEIC, and we'll see with the
mhm.
grammar as well. With your writing.
My grammar is weak, I think. My grammar is weak, I think. But the grammar for me is not the more important for the moment. For the moment, it's speaking for me.
You're absolutely right. Grammar is actually, in terms of priority, should be it's the lowest priority.
It's annoying,
Yeah, it's annoying for sure.
but
Uh,
it's important. Huh? But
I mean, it's important, but not. I mean, you will improve with time. As you recognize unconsciously, the speech patterns and the word order of other speakers, and by reading as well. So that will come naturally. But I could say the same thing for French. The 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 S and the ENT and for example,
there isn't this problem when you speak.
Mm, right. When you
Spelling,
speak, that's right.
no
That's right.
problem. No problem of spelling when you speak.
That's true. Yeah, and in any case, with tools that we have, technology, writing. I don't think writing is the most. When I write in French, I use tools. I use DeepL. I use
Yes,
ChatGPT. I mean,
me
why
too.
not? Yeah, of course.
In English, me too.
Sure, you should. It's good. The tool is there. That's good for that.
I always check my sentence before to send in the internet,
Yeah, you should.
forum or Discord, always, because I always a doubt.
You always have a doubt. Yeah. Do you think now you have some new habits that you will continue in English? Meaning,
Yes, I continue to speak in English for improve my English. Yes, I don't have the choice if I want to
improve.
progress
Mhm.
in my work.
Mhm.
No, English, no English until the death.
Till the death.
Il-
English till
Ah
I
yes,
die.
jusqu'à la mort
I,
maintenant.
I should change the name of my company, not English for life, English till you die.
Yes, yes, because documentation in English. A lot of people in Europe speak in English. For example,
Right.
I speak with Chinese
Oh,
on
cool.
Discord.
On Discord,
Yes,
right. Okay, so you're saying you will continue to use Discord for to practice your English speaking?
yes, because it's anonymous
Okay.
and there isn't consequences if
Hmm.
your English is very bad. For
That's
example,
great. That's great. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, if you're speaking to a Chinese person in English, well, their
yes,
English is probably is not perfect either, so
no, but learn Mandarin is very hard. I prefer to speak in English with
yeah,
Chinese people.
yeah, right. Yeah. What about movies? Do you watch movies or series in English or
Uh,
YouTube
f-
videos or anything like that?
YouTube videos because videos on YouTube are more
Hmm.
uh,
Shorter.
shorter, and you can choose the accent of of the person. For example, English accent.
Oh, I see. Right. You will. Mhm.
Yes, it's easier because Netflix, no, the movie are too long for me.
Right.
Mm,
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
prefer YouTube video because on YouTube video you have you have the transcript of the
Hmm.
video. Uh, it's accessible. No,
Hmm.
it's more practical for me.
Hmm.
And I listen yes, and I listen podcast on Spotify.
Nice. Which podcast do you listen to?
Yours,
Oh,
your podcast, and podcast BBC English.
nice.
You have also 6 minute English.
Hmm.
Uh, there is a lot of podcasts in English on Spotify, and it's free.
Yeah,
So
that's
why not?
yeah, absolutely. That's perfect. You did the right thing because for you, when you decided you're going to learn English, you concentrated on that. It's not possible for everyone to quit their job and to focus 5 hours a day.
Yes, 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 yes.
But
I have entre guillemets an opportunity
yeah,
to do that.
no, that's right. But and you took the opportunity, and you had the discipline to do it, and that is remarkable because it's not easy to spend 5 6 hours a day learning any language. So really, hats off, chapeau, hats off to you. I'm very proud of you. You've really progressed, and I think you're ready to start applying for jobs. You really should. Even if you don't get it, it's good practice. So I recommend you to do that. And it was a pleasure to have you, to know you, to get to know you, and to have you as a client. So
Yes. Yeah, yes, but me, I meet polyglot
Mm-hmm.
in Discord, and polyglot do more remarkable things on on the planification to learn their languages. It's a very impressive. It's very
Oh,
impressive.
yeah, sure. Polyglots, yeah, they have a real like structure and
Uh,
yeah.
the schedule, the planification. It's I
Right.
can't.
Right. Yeah, yeah, it's amazing.
I
But
can't.
well, anyway, good.
English, it's okay for me. Maybe when I will B2 level,
Mhm.
maybe I will learn another language.
Oh, which one are you interested?
Mandarin,
Wow.
because
Fascinating.
this is the second language in the world.
Wow. Is it the second language? Wow.
Yes, the first language English, international language.
Hmm.
For example, polyglot learn Mandarin in English with English course. For example,
Oh, oh, okay.
yes,
Huh.
yes, Korean is the same thing. English course to learn Korean.
I see. So first learn English so that you can then take a
Yes,
course in English to learn another
yeah,
language.
the English it's the boss.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's the
And
foundation. Yeah. Mm.
yes, and after yes, Mandarin to try. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
It's a difficult language.
Yes. Yeah. Uh, very hard, man. You have to also be very motivated to learn. You know, you have to have a reason, I think, you know.
I think when you start to learn a language, like the English language, you have to continue to learn English and other languages to make bridge between
Hmm.
language.
So are you proud of yourself of how much you've progressed?
Well, yes, but my level, I think, is uh, is still weak.
Right.
Oui, because in a conversation B2 or C1 level, people speak faster, and it's difficult to follow the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you had an A2 level when you started, you know, and to go from A2 to B1 is, I think, is the hardest gap because you have already some foundation with an A2, but
Mhm.
it's a struggle, you know, it's very difficult. Everything is hard, you know. To go to B1 is great because now that you're B1, and I think you're B2 for listening, you can now you can continue the habits of having conversations of listening to podcasts, etc., etc. Now that you have those habits, you can really go further. It'll be easier, in fact, I think, for you to go from the B1 to B2.
Yes, it's a very motivating. It's a very motivating to continue to speak in English on Discord, for example.
Yeah, uh, that's cool. Well, and I appreciate you sharing all these tips, with these videos and on LinkedIn, for example, on how to learn languages. It's very inspiring for others.
To learn English, yes, because when you are a beginner, the big question is how do you do other people to learn English the most effective, the
Hmm.
most effective, yes, the most effective.
Right, and you're sharing your own experience, on what's the
Yes,
more effective. Yeah.
yes, and it makes content on my LinkedIn account.
Yeah. All right, great. Well, listen, let's stay in touch, and we're going to talk about the TOEIC test. I'm going to stop the recording, and
Okay.
So thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye bye.